leaving and they were looking for a new caretaker. And at that stage, Ray and I both had injuries at work. We were both on work cover and working less hours than what we'd intended to work, and thought, oh, maybe it's an opportunity. So I spoke to Pastor John, and that was was left at that. We came down here in the January. It was back then we used to have the working bees and the long weekend of the 26th of January. And Ray and I came in. I was still working, but I was only working part-time. And we got down here about lunchtime. We walked through the door, and Pastor John came up to us and he says, I want to talk to you too. And we thought, oh, okay, what have we done? Anyway, we went up to his cabin and Mike Murray followed, and they said, do you want the caretaker's job? And we thought, oh, okay. And Ray made some excuses because he had, his bottom of his spine was actually degenerating. He was, had to give up butchering because his back was packing up. And so he was a bit apprehensive about just how much work he could do. Anyway, we sorted everything out, got the house organised to rent, and moved down here in the April of 2006, and the rest is history. That's right. And in that time, they've given him lots of machinery to work on, which has made things a lot easier. But the blessing of the Lord, not just since we came to the Lord, but things leading up to the Lord. And years ago, when we were in New Zealand, before we moved over to Australia, Ray always used to say, one of these days I'd love to be a caretaker of a school. And back then in New Zealand, they used to have houses that caretakers would live in and look after a school. And it wasn't till last year or so that I suddenly realised, I thought, oh, he said once he always wanted to be a caretaker. And I've been reflecting on a lot of this lately, and although we have things and we ask the Lord to heal us for certain things, and of course over the years we've got older and we've got aches and pains and we want a bit of healing, but I've realised that the Lord has always been with me. I've always believed, and so has Ray. The Lord's always been with us. He's been with me. I remember incidents when I was travelling overseas, when I was single and travelling on my own completely, how the Lord protected me on several occasions, and just being here, seeing other people healed, being able to, I'm not very good at going out and cold canvassing and talking to people, but if somebody comes into the fellowship that's new, I'm quite happy to talk to and help them and guide them and things like that. It's just